Hello, hello, my friends. We'll see how this is going tonight. Let's hope we're connecting okay. How is everybody? Winter came. Winter is now here. Summer was here Saturday, and then yesterday was rain, and now today it's freezing. So who knows? Hard to keep up, but we'll be good. All the more reason to stay inside and create, right? Lots of fun stuff. So let me know when you're here so I'm not all by myself. I haven't heard that I'm here yet. Oh, it is now. Okay, good, good. I'm gonna just make sure that I see myself, and I do. All right, so welcome. Tonight I am sharing, hey Shannon, a new bundle. I've had some requests from some of you that it would be great if we could tie together some of the embellishments with a layout, with a card, and how do we put them all together and how do they work? Hey, Marion. So I have a bundle. I'm calling it the Silver Bells. It's not very imaginative. I'm telling you, I work so hard trying to come up with these really crazy names, and they're silly. Hey, Ilana. How are you? Okay, so let's go. Where do I want to take you? I want to take you here. All right, so let's go look at the store. It's the Simple and the Embelly SVGs. You're going to click on that, which I have to tell you, this is what I do now. When someone says, what is it that you do? I'm an SVG designer because I am loving it. I'm going to design SVGs. That's my job. I'll do these Facebook Lives where I share my Cricut stuff, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any new Cricut classes right away because I'm just loving this. All right, so here's tonight's freebie. I almost forgot to get you a freebie. Here's the freebie, and then this is the bundle that I'm talking about. So let me just peek in here so that you can see, and I'm going to show you these tonight too. So it's a simple. Now remember, the green is just something to help you get an idea of size. This is a 12 by 12. It's also this sweet embelly that's kind of multiple layers. And then this one that would go on the front of a card, another embelly. So you get 3 different embellies in this bundle. They're pretty busy. And then you're going to grab this freebie one and you're going to work with that one. So this is the one we're going to work with tonight, okay? And once you understand how it works, the same techniques are within all of the other ones. So let me take you in. So first you're going to add this, you're going to buy this one, remember it's free. Save it to your computer so that you know where it is, and then we're going to head over to Cricut, to Design Space, okay? And we want to tell Design Space what we want to do. So first we're going to upload it, make sure it's here. Mine is here, right here. Mine is here, right here, where that came from. There's not a southern bone in my body. We're going to click on that. And we're going to add it to the canvas. Now, when it comes in, it's going to be a little wonky looking, and you're going to think, what am I doing with all of these? Why does it have all of this? So what I want you to do first is take it apart. Kind of like when you get a box from IKEA with all those little pieces and you think, okay, now what? Yeah, let's take this baby apart, and then we can figure out how we want to put it together and get our own design. First of all, it's 4.5 by 4.5, so it's a good size item. I'm going to ungroup. It's really not. If you figure out what the size of the actual background shadow is, which is this one, you can see that it's 4 by 4. So that's really the size of what you're going to get. The reason it said it was bigger than that, it's because the pieces weren't lined up evenly. All right, so there's one. Bring that down to the bottom. You see this red and you wonder, where is it? Hey, Jean. Jean, your toolkit piece that I was waiting for just came today, so it will be in the mail first thing in the morning. I'm sorry that it was such a delay for you. It was just timing was horrible. But it's ready, it's here, it's packed, and the mailman will grab it in the morning. So you see this red one and you wonder, where is that? Click on it. And then just use your arrows and you'll see that it's hiding. It's in the back, all right? So bring this out. Then this one if you notice, it is exactly the same size. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Then this one has 2 layers to it. So you can ungroup that one. Takes it a minute. And just kind of figure out, well, now why are there 2? Because if you just put these guys and cut this straight out, first of all, you're going to have all these little pieces to put together. In order to get the detail, we need the pieces, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to take this black layer and we're going to change this to the pen. And now we're going to bring this on top and we're going to let the pen go right over that. And it's going to trace around the edge so you're going to get the details. Now, I'm going to have to glue those details down on here, right? But we can do that. So I'm going to select both of those and I'm going to say attach. So now when I send this over to the mat, Cricut's going to write and outline this bow to give it a little bit more definition because there's so many tiny parts. Hi, Diane. We're going to do the same thing with this. This one is a little itsy bitsy smaller. If you're not sure, look at the size. If you get confused about which is which. This, oh, no, this is the bigger one. Let's see, 3.322, 3.3. So this is the one I want on top. I'm going to switch this to the pen layer. I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it to the front. I'm going to put those 2 together. I'm going to select them both and I'm going to come up to a line and I'm going to say center. Now, I just want to be sure I did that right because I feel like that wasn't the way it was supposed to go. It is lining up, so we're good. Okay. So, attach them. And then when I send this to the mat, this is also going to write and then cut around the outside. Okay? So then this is my background. This is what I'm going to put it on. I'm going to make this be black because I want this to be something that makes it kind of pop off the page. So this, then this, these are my silver bells, right? And then this is going to be my accent color of my ribbon. So now that I've made it do exactly what I want, I'm going to send it to the cut screen, and you can see that it's going to pen, so it's going to write and then cut the white layer. It's going to cut the background layer, and it's going to write and then cut the bow. Well, let's do that. All right. So we're going to say continue. Now, this could fit with the Joy, but we're going to use the maker tonight because I want a silver pen, and I have a thick silver pen for my maker. So I'm going to use white. I'm going to bring you down here for a second. I'm going to use my white cardstock on my mat. I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick medium cardstock. Now it's telling me to load. Now it says midnight, and I just said I wanted silver. Well, right, it's not going to know what color I put in there. It's going to be okay. So I am using, this is a medium tip 1.0 silver Cricut pen. That's what I'm using. And I'm going to load that in, and we're going to let Cricut do the work. So Cricut's doing the work over there. And then I'll bring it over and show you what we've got, okay? So it's busy cutting away, drawing right now. It's doing it nicely. Then this little embellishment that we've created can then be added to the front of a card. It can be added to a tag. It could be added to another symbol. All right, and I'm almost ready to show you. what my little machine was able to do. Okay, so here we go, right? And when I take this off, you're going to see that my silver, can you see that? It's hard to tell. It wants to focus on this and not this. Focus here. Okay, so there's my bells. Now I'm going to do my shadow layer. Remember I said I wanted black. Well, I'm going to see what is in this pile here. Where's my black? Oh, I didn't grab my black. Hold on. Let me grab her over here. All right. So now I'm going to put the black on. Do I have two? I do. That would have been messy. I've been talking about doing Christmas cards, and I have several new embellies that I'll be uploading for you so that you can get jump started on your Christmas cards, because, hey, we got it. Oops. I'm not loading to you. I forgot. I have my pen still in there. The next pen, though, I'm going to use black because it's going to be on the red, and I just want it to kind of highlight it. Now, I could have done all of that with ink. So when we're done with this, I'm going to go back and show you. If this is just more than you want to deal with, let me show you what you can do so you don't have to mess with it. Okay, here is our shadow. Now, the reason I'm using the maker to show you how simple this is, what if you wanted to make 10 of these? I'll show you that, and I'll show you that in Design Space. But see how this works? This shows you where it goes. That's why these little backgrounds are so helpful. If you put them on the right one. No, I was right. Oh, sorry. You now know where things line up, so you don't have to worry about it. Right? Just like so. And now I'm ready to add my red bow to the top. Let's zoom you in a little so that you can see what's going on. And now I need my red. And I'm grabbing my Kingston pad here. This is one of my HSN purchases. I'm going to grab this one. The red is really pretty because I want to use some of the other papers for some of the other embellies and simples, and I want to make sure they all go together. So the trick to this is that you stick with the same paper family, whatever it is, whatever paper that you're using, make sure that your reds are all the same. So if you're using a Stampin' Up! Paper, that's easy. You just stick with whatever color it tells you. If you are using a different company's, well, then you're going to have to think about it a little bit. I'm going to pop in my pen, because remember, this is a write and cut layer, and we're going to let her go. So first thing it's going to do is write. While it's doing that, I am going to put these guys down. Now, I could have used a brighter color, but I like the Silver Bell thing was sticking in my brain, and so I wanted to use silver. One of the things that you want to do with these guys is don't be shy with your your foofing. These look great if you run them through an embossing folder. They look great if you use your regular heat embossing on it, emboss a pattern on it. They look really cool if you put Wink of Stella on it. Cut this from foil. Cut this from a glimmer. So many choices. All right, here is the bow part, right? So now we've got these pieces, and it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. And there's just a little bit of the black showing, but because we put black we let the Cricut do some writing, we got a little bit more definition on the outside. Diane, they're not welded because if you welded them together, you'd lose this dimension. This lets this bell look like it's popped forward. You could weld them if you wanted to and just cut one out. But when you do that, and you'll notice on the border that's on the simple, they are more welded than this. But once you weld them, you kind of lose the detail. So that's why I kept them apart. Whoops. Okay, so here we go, right? I've just knocked this over 3 times. Get up there. All right, so there are my bells. I'm going to stop touching it. Got it? Okay, so let's go back in here. Let's look at some more things that we can do with this simple free embelly to make it a little bit more of our own. So, okay, this is all great, Kara, we love it, but it's a little more work than I want to do. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to bring it in again. This is the way you downloaded it. I'm going to bring it in again. I'm going to ungroup it. Now that I know how it works, I want this, right? I want that background shadow layer. Okay, whoops. I want you, bring you, and using the arrows, once you've highlighted it, makes it easier because when they're all on top of each other, it's really easy to grab something you don't want. Then the bells, remember, are 2 layers. So I'm going to ungroup those. I'm just going to turn off one. I'm only going to keep one. So now I just have 1 layer of bells. Now here was Diane's idea. Why couldn't we weld them together and then we wouldn't have as much to do, right? Well, we definitely can. Here's the way you would do that. One, you could just grab a shape. Again, depending on what you're doing. If you're making 55 of these, you're probably going to want them as simple as humanly possible. If you're making 1, well, then you've got time to mess with it. But if not, and you want them welded, you're going to do that. You're going to unlock it, and you're going to drag this right down and cover up the space. Okay? Thinking, well, that's kind of ugly. Trust me, it's going to be okay in a minute. All right, so there's that. Get you right at the tippity top. And we're going to select, I knew that was going to happen. We're going to select you guys, and we're going to say weld. And now the bells are together. Still going to look cool. Still going to look okay. Bells are going to be fine. If you're making a whole bunch of cards, you want this to be as easy as possible. All right, so there's one. Here's another idea. Let's duplicate this. And let's bring this one on top, okay? Get it where you want it. Select and slice. Now I have that. Now I missed a little piece of it. I don't want to lose that piece. Hold on. I need to move you over. So I'm going to zoom us in so we can see. I want you over here more like that. All right? Okay, zoom back out. I'm going to select this baby. Now I've got these 2, and I'm going to slice. So now I have this. This is going to go on top. Let's change our color. Let's make this. So we are eliminating the drawing part. All right. So this is still going to be our bottom one. We still want that black, so it's going to give us the best contrast as a shadow. This one, bring it up on top. Those are your silver bells. But it's the bow that's really going to show here. So I'm going to change this to red. And then this is going to bring it to the front. And then this is going to go on top. So now, oh, and I can get rid of you. So now I only have, oh, I turned you off. Let me just delete you. I was thinking I only have 3 things. What is that? Delete you. So now when I say make it, this is the top part of my bell. So this is the part that I'm either going to do out of a flocked paper, or I'm going to do it out of a silver glimmer. I'm going to do it out of a foil. This is my bell. Okay? This is my shadow, my background, but it's also kind of like the puzzle holder that tells me where everything goes. This is the bow layer that's going to go in the middle. It's also going to let my bells kind of have a little bit more definition because it's going to pop them up once I put this on top of here. And now I have a totally different look. So let's go back here. I'm not writing this time. Let's go ahead and say continue. So these are my bells. I want these to be pretty. Let's make my bells out of something totally different. Let's grab a piece of, let's make our bells out of this cool red stripe. I don't know how busy this is going to be. We'll see. All right. So this is going to be our bell layer. Okay. I'm using medium cardstock. This is the Kingston pad. The Kingston Crafts Christmas pad that I talked about last week that I dove into HSN way too big. Yeah, that was me. And fast mode, and let's go ahead. And that's going to go ahead and cut this out. And this is all from that same free embelly for tonight. All these things can be done using this. Super simple. And think about all the places you can use this. All right. So here are our bells. Oh, they look kind of cool. In the red and white silver. Ooh, I'm a red and white stripe. I kind of like the other side better, but we're going to go with that. All right, so then next is our black layer, which is right here. Now remember, we've done this in the past. There's also embossing pens. I'm just putting this, it's going to cut over here. This is the paper we used before. And I'm going to load you in. And we're going to let it go. And in my flurry here, I think I lost all those pieces, didn't I? While it's cutting. We do our gluing. Yeah, that's one. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Didn't go far. I'm coming, Mr. Cricket. I'm coming. Let's get this last piece down so I don't lose these bows. I'm missing that little center. We'll have to find it. I'm sure it's here. Although it doesn't look bad like that. Okay. So here's how these two go. The circle on the top of the bells, that's to get rid of the spacing between the two bells. Is that what you mean? You mean in Design Space, Diane? I'll go back to that and do it again, okay, so it makes sense. You mean in Design Space or in real life? All right, so this is going to be our bow layer. So let's let this cut and then we'll come back. I found that. It was in my Cricut. no, there is never a silly question because I bet someone else has it too. Okay, so here's the more complicated way to make these bells. This is the one with the drawing, okay? So this is the first one we did. This is the simple version, and it goes like this, but I need my bows first before we get too carried away. So hold on. I could leave it like this. Okay, so here's what we have, right? I'm going to pull this off. And what this is going to give me now is the detail that's going to make it look more like a bow than right now it kind of looks like Mickey ears. So now, which I know Marion would like. If I bring this in and put this down, this looks cool too. This look is kind of neat. So that layer's cool. And then when I pop this on the top, now I get the bells with the bow and the detail. Okay? Same thing. Let's go back one more time into Design Space and see what else we can do with it. So finish this. And I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to bring it in again. Sometimes it's easier to do that. If you're in love with what you did, don't delete it. Just save it as a project. But you're not going to overwrite it because you're saving it as a project. But save each one as a different project if you like them all. All right, so here's how it comes in. Ungroup. You like the first one better? Okay. So now we're going to take you, but we can do a little bit of both now. You can still have the two bells. Remember, there's two layers to that bell. This is still our shadow. We're going to turn this black first so that we don't forget. That's our shadow layer. All right, so what Diane was saying is that she liked the two bells that we had the first time, but maybe we don't want to write them. Maybe we just want the bells. So let's ungroup these guys. Let's take these apart. Watch this. So now I have two. They're very, very, very similar in size. They're like 2/100ths of a they're 0.02 different in size, so it's not going to matter. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go in contour, and I'm going to get rid of this bell. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go into contour, and I'm going to get rid of this, whoops, that worked anyway, that bell. Now I still have the same thing, but they're separate. They're not hooked together anymore. So now this one could get cut out of red. This one we could cut out of green. Bring you down, bring you over. So now I can get totally different looking bells here in Design Space. In the bow idea, I could do the same kind of thing with a bow. Watch this. Let's move you. Let's take you, and this time we're going to add an offset to it. Not a very big one. We want a really little one. And you can't really get a little one with the slider. So I'm going to come in here, and I want it to be 05. And see, it's, oh shoot, I did it too quickly. Offset, I want it to be 05. And apply. Yeah, it's not doing it yet. I'll get it. You want a small offset. You don't want the big one. And the offset is really a little funky. It does it, but it's on its own terms. Come on. Come on. And if I say apply right now, it's going to do what's right there, and I want it smaller. Notice it says beta version right here. that means it's still in test mode. And by pushing it to do things it doesn't like to do, sometimes it just can't. All right, we'll live with you. We'll say apply. Now, I'm going to take this. Whoops. Did I get both of them? I'm going to take both of them, and I'm going to slice. And now I'm going to get just the outline. Let's change that to a yellow so that you can see it. And I'm going to bring that down right here. So now, and get rid of you guys. And get rid of you. So now I can cut, I'm going to have my bow. Now that's going to be tiny, but it can do it. It might be better. Remember, you're going to want to use a really thin paper, not something half heavy and mushy. Stampin' Up! Cardstock would probably give you a hard time on that one because it's softer. I think that, well, we can try it. I think the Kingston paper might be able to do it. If not, if it's giving you a hard time, it could be vinyl. If it really, you love the look, but it's just not doing it, you could change this to a pen. Move these dudes out of the way. Let's change you to a color we can see. It's going to look like pumpkins, but it's okay. We want to be able to see it. And let's bring this in, right? Now, the only issue is it's a little bit bigger to write on it. I'd have to like shrink it down a little to get it to write. But I could do that. Because remember, I made an offset, so that made it a little bit bigger and all of those things. If I were going to use it to write, I probably would have done it from the original piece, not from this one. But I can do it. And then I would say attach. Not you. Just you two. And then Cricut will send it to the mat. It's going to cut you out of red. It's going to cut you and write on you. And it's going to cut you. All right. So those are like multiple things that you can do with that one little embelly. So don't just look at it and say, oh, well, that's what she did, so that's what I'm going to do. Do whatever you want. Make Design Space do what you want. All of you have enough Design Space skills to do that. You do. I know you forget, and we haven't done it in a while. So by going through it with me here, hopefully, go back and watch this again. I will load this video in the store. Let me show you what I mean. Let me bring you back here. As soon as I process this, I will put it in here as a file that you can download so that you can go back and watch it again. It'll also be on YouTube and you can watch it there, but just so that you know that it's available, okay? Awesome. Well, happy Monday, everybody. I can't wait to see what you do. Please upload and share and tell me what you did. Be sure and share your Christmas cards that you're working on. Oh, I know what I told you. Wait, you don't get to leave yet. Let me come back here. I told you that I would show you the other ones too. What the other layouts look like. All right, so in here we have you and you and you. No, not you. You. You are welcome. All right, so this is the simple. Same idea though. The bells have lots of different, start just like all of them, ungroup, and start to pull things apart. So you could cut this out, but I'm telling you, if you look at it close, all those little pieces are going to have to get glued and they're a pain in the butt. So either do it out of vinyl or change this to a draw layer and let Cricut do the writing. Now we haven't talked about it, but remember we also have this super awesome idea. We have the foil. So if you have the foil tool, remember that? If you have the foil tool, you could change this to foil. And then when you get, let me zoom back down here again. Then you're going to cut your simple. So let's say you cut your simple part out of white. You do this out of foil. You then put it on. You're going to attach it so that it looks like a ghost sometimes if you don't get it just right. Get that in the right place. And then you could do foil on top of your simple. Right? Super cool. Don't cut this bell layer out. You will hate me and it because it's all those itty bitty little pieces. Okay? The other idea is the title. This is a pretty thin font, but it's a good height. It's not too tiny. I think you can cut that pretty well with your paper. All right? So there's that. Let's get you out of here. There's a lot of layers in my machine. It's like, what do you want? The same on these. Anytime you see the bells, start with ungrouping and then work on it. So this one, this is little. It's the same font, but it's little. I suggest either vinyl with that or that you change that to a write layer and you write it. Just so that you're not ready to hurt somebody. If you're going to do that, notice that you have a layer to write on. So bring this up, change that It's Christmas time to your pen. Select just that one layer, not the whole thing, and attach it to that. So this will come out as a title, all written for you, ready to glue down on your shadow background. Same thing with the bells. You have a bell layer right here. So you're going to change this to right. I liked these bells so much, but they're really a kind of a pain to cut. You can do it. And put them on there. And attach. And then this is your font. Now, if you want to do both, if you don't want to cut this out, or this is really tiny. It's only 1 inch long, so it's really tiny. It's an embelly. It's not going to look good cut from paper. It's going to fall apart and the machine's going to eat it. You could cut it from vinyl or simply change it to the pen or the foil and let the pen do the writing. Pop this on, make sure it's on top. Right? Select the whole shebang. Make sure it's where you want it and say attach. And then when you tell Cricut to go ahead and do it, it's going to do this layer, which could be done if you did this in a, if you've got this in a black, you've got this in a white with a foil. Oh my gosh, it would look breathtaking. This could be in a red with the foil. So pretty. And then this one is the same idea. Do the ungroup thing. Now I did weld these bells all together, but they're still little pieces. They're not welded, they're merged, a different thing. But they're still little pieces and you're still gonna hate me. So don't do that. Use either your foil or your pen on this one and change that to a right layer. That's your background. Same thing with this one. Change this to a right or a foil layer. Attach all these babies together. And so Cricut's going to write this layer or foil it and then cut it. And then you're going to pop it on top of here. So it looks super complicated, but it's really not. So when you bring these into Design Space, take a minute. Take them apart and look and see exactly what you have. It's kind of like IKEA. And you got to look at what you're doing before you do it. If you've never experienced the joy of putting together an IKEA piece of furniture with another human being, bless you. It tests whatever relationship skills you might have. I promise this isn't that bad. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Maybe I'll be back this week. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be back Monday. But have a great week, and I will see you all soon. Bye.